How's it, guys? This is Davey FPL and welcome back to the Deadline with Davey live stream. Hopefully you guys are enjoying this Friday evening, a bit of a strange one. We haven't had a Friday night deadline in a while, so I do appreciate you guys joining. I know it's going to be a bit of a struggle on a Friday night, actually maybe even afternoon, maybe even early Saturday morning, wherever you guys are around the world. I do appreciate you joining the stream. Let's hope this one is going to be a bit more of a relaxed one to last one, where we used the fiat that got us just within the top 50k. So if you guys are in chat, let me know if the audio and the video are sounding Gucci, and then we get on to this game week where hopefully it's going to be a green arrow. Captaincy this week is going to be super split. I don't know about you guys, but I'll do a poll later on. Who is your current captain? Because I think I'm kind of swaying between the left and the right. I'm going between Amush, I'm going between Isaac, I'm going between Mbumo. Audio and video is Gucci. Let's go more green arrows. Thank you, Tarang, for letting me know. Just give me a second here while I'll pop up the chat. Hopefully your game week 34 was good. Rohit's is saying exact same rank as you, but that probably means it wasn't that good of a game week for you, because I think you were about 20k, 30k. You were definitely above me, Rohit. So just let me know how the game week is going. Cameron, no Mbumo, not yet. Don't worry though, I've got one free transfer, and that's probably going to be used before the game week 35 deadline. So it's probably going to be for Saka. That's why I've got the Saka captain, because I think whoever I bring in for Saka might be our captain, but I don't exactly know. So just ignore Saka for now. Don't worry, I'm not going to keep him. I think we're going to be going over some potential switches. Thank you, Yo, for saying the audio is Gucci. I see I'm going a bit in and out of focus. Taranga is saying I'm currently ranked 28k, all thanks to you. No, it's all thanks to your choices. I can take a slight bit of credit, but I think with me, what you can say is you would have got to 50k, but you would have got to 28k on your own. So Tarang, well done on that one. What's the best manager in your opinion? I've got Glasner. We'll go over current projections for managers, but I personally favor Pep at the moment, just because you get Wolves at home, you get Southampton away, and then you also, let me just check their third fixture, then you get Bournemouth at home. So their fixtures are okay, and what you must remember is Man City still have to win games to cement their top 5 place. So at the moment, I'm favoring Pep just because it's kind of a no-brainer, and not many people have a Man City triple up. But I think Glasner is the one that you look at if you want to get that kind of positional boost of top 5. Because unfortunately, last night, what happened with Brentford beating Nottingham Forest, they dropped out of the top 5. Chelsea now progressed, so they are 5th, Liverpool are 1st. So Maresca could have got the positional bonus, but now he won't because of that win for Brentford. So just something to keep in mind if you guys were looking at kind of positional boosts. As Ritz is saying, David Moyes, I mean, Moyes has been a pretty good assistant manager, but maybe a few weeks ago. I do like the Everton fixtures. So Everton could also be there, but I think you want to target these kind of very high scoring games. And I don't know if Everton are the most high scoring team. So that's why I personally favor Pep, even though he might be quite expensive. So we can go over those manager projections though shortly, when I do go over the kind of projected goals, projected clean sheets, and all that good stuff. Just give it about 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I'm just waiting for people to kind of get in chat. So another question here. Freya didn't go that well. No Trippier or Sessegnon hurt. That is true. You might have gone for Trent and maybe Kukureya. I had Sessegnon on the bench, and that was super unlucky because, well, I guess it's lucky for managers, and maybe they deserved it for taking the punt. But imagine scoring a last-minute winner after losing the clean sheet. I mean, absolute dreamland there. Did the transfer early based on your last video? So Cameron, that's 100% fine. I'm probably going to do that move anyways. I just haven't done it because I've been waiting to see what would happen with the doubles and the blanks, which as of now, it seems like the FA Cup games won't be doubles, but there might be a potential double for Spurs and Aston Villa if the Premier League does approve their request to move the game. So if you guys don't know, basically what Spurs have requested is they want a few more days recovery in preparation for their Conference League final if they do get there. So they've asked for the game week 37 fixture to be moved now, and that is yet to be approved or rejected. So that's the only thing that might happen, is we might get double game week 36 for Spurs and Aston Villa, but at the moment it's going to be for no teams. Are you tempted to do Saar or Eze to Mbumo? So Gary, I don't think, I think I could just afford that if I took out Eze, as he's slightly more expensive. So I can just afford going for Eze to Mbumo, but then I'm still stuck with Saka. So, I mean, I could just start Murphy this week, and I could keep Saka, but I don't think I'd really want Saka for the next 2 weeks anyways. So I'm looking to take him out. Potentially maybe a -4 for Visa, or someone like a Bowen could happen. That could also be quite attractive. But I might just stick with what I have. Mateta's not the worst option. Forest weren't great defensively on Monday. So I might just keep with what I have. But yeah, any of you that would start Murphy over Saul Eze, because I think Murphy's the one currently I'm thinking about potentially starting, but I don't know. I got 101 points. Should have captained Cunha instead of Mo. But like, let's be real. I don't think anyone was going to captain Cunha, because there were some of us considering not even having him on the free hit because his minutes weren't secure. So I get what you're saying. I also wish I captained Cunha, but I think the Salah outscoring Isaac was good enough for me. How's it, Philippe? Hopefully you're doing well. Best triple captain for the rest of the game. So someone asked this over on my Discord as well. I think maybe what you do is wait and see, and if there's a Man City attacker that's guaranteed to start against Southampton, maybe choose them. It is quite tough though. What I can maybe go and do for you is go over the projected points from now till game week 36. And we can see if there's a potential kind of big scorer. Okay, so we have United versus Chelsea, maybe a Cole Palmer there, but you might not be that confident. What you could just hope for is that the Spurs game does get moved and you get a double game week, and then I would go for an Aston Villa triple captain. Otherwise, what you could do is maybe wait for game week 38 and then take a massive punt. I mean, Saka could be there against Southampton. The only problem there is you don't exactly know who's going to start. I mean, Bournemouth have Leicester. That could also be pretty good. I don't think I would. I mean, would I do it this week? This week could be super differential because the captaincy is so split. But I don't think there's like a standout triple captain for me this week. So I might just keep it for next week. And then basically what you should do is just keep on bugging me about who to go for each deadline stream. And I'll keep on telling you who to kind of look at potentially then. So that's what I would say the best plan is. So probably not this week, but let's assess it next week. Nanada saying start Rodgers or Savinho if no City news. Okay, so maybe what I should go and do here is let me check a projected lineup for you. I always use kind of jump the wave over on Twitter. So let's go see if there's a Man City projected lineup. That could be quite helpful in our choices here. Okay, so we have Liverpool. Okay, Man City and Savinho is... where is Savinho? Is Savinho's name different? Is it Savio on here? Because I see Gonzalez, I see Bernardo. Okay, so it doesn't look like he's really gonna start here. It's tough to predict which other Man City player besides De Bruyne does start. So if we don't get a leak, I'd probably go for Rodgers. That's what I'd probably say. I'd probably go for Rodgers. I'd probably just go for Rodgers unless we get a leak, because I don't think he started a few games in a row now. Saka and Mateta to KDB and Watkins. Saka and Mateta to KDB and Watkins. On paper that looks pretty good. Watkins versus Mateta this week might be a bit, I don't know. But definitely does look potentially quite strong. Could I do Eze out as well as Saka for De Bruyne and Mbumo? Yeah, I guess I could do that. I guess your worry is that then Wolves and does he start Southampton then? But that could be pretty nice. It's a -4 hit though, which is not that good. But what might make it better is if we keep Eze and we take out Saar instead. I mean, then we might be cooking. I don't know what you guys think about that, but then we might be looking quite good. So, I mean, that potentially could be an option. De Bruyne looks like he's going to start against Wolves. Any news on Savinho? None at the moment. We might get some early team sheet news from Man City. We usually do, except for last week where we didn't. We got it like 5 minutes before the game. Gia saying, thinking about captaining De Bruyne over Mbeumo as I'm chasing a bit in terms of rank. Thoughts? I'm fine with De Bruyne. What I would try and get is if we get confirmation that he starts, I do like it a little bit more. But there could always be a chance that he's benched. You never know. But I think he should be fine. Rashford to who? I can afford anyone apart from Palmer. So I think, Callum, what you do is Mbeumo. If you have Mbeumo, you look at someone like maybe a Jared Bowen. Then you kind of get more into the punt potential where you can look at someone like a De Bruyne potentially. But I would say Mbeumo, otherwise go for Bowen, otherwise De Bruyne, probably in that order. My question, I've want to know about Murphy or Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Always play the attacker, Tarang. I'd always play Murphy over Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Start Saul Murphy. Well, in my situation, Milos, I'm starting Saul. So for me, though, it's more kind of, I just don't know who to bench between Eze and Saul. So I'm playing the get out of jail free card and just looking at that. I sell Saka for 2 rounds. Okay, if you're going to sell Saka, that could be. But what I would warn you is he's going for the records. It seems like he's pretty keen on getting the assist record, which I think he requires 3 more for. Murphy, Eze, Rodgers to Bowen and bench who? I would keep Rodgers in case they have a double. I'd probably go, who has better fixtures between Newcastle and Crystal Palace? I'd probably take out Murphy. I think Nottingham Forest have better fixtures. Let's maybe go over assistant manager because some people have been asking me this question in chat, I see. So what we're going to do is we won't go over the projected goals right now. We will go over the assistant manager projections rather. Okay, so what I'm going to do is you guys can see that now. So basically what this is it says assistant manager points, opponent, win percentage, draw percentage, and then we also have, I think it's goal projections and then clean sheet odds. This is from Rob TFPL. Sorry, Rob, I've just cut off your name at the top there. But Rob TFPL, if you guys want to go follow him, probably one of the most useful accounts, I'd say, from an FPL point of view over on Twitter. And now what you're looking at is the fixtures highlighted in orange are going to be your potential boost fixtures. So you've got Glasner, you've got the Brighton manager, and you've got the Bournemouth manager. Now, I probably wouldn't go for the Bournemouth manager. I think that you either go for Brighton or Crystal Palace. But now here's where the worry sets in. So Newcastle still have to secure top 5, as well as Nottingham Forest. So I don't like those fixtures 100%. There is a chance, obviously, that there could be some boost there. So I think Glasner's the one that you go for if you want to risk it. He's the positional table bonus that you want to look at, or you can go for Pep Guardiola. I think Pep is probably the safest option. I just like the fixtures more. I think City score more goals. You can also see Davy Moyes is probably your budget option. So we've kind of got the categories. Glasner's the risky one. Pep's the one that if you have the funds, and then Davy Moyes is the one that if you don't have the funds. He's quite cheap. So that's kind of the order that I would set it in. So you guys just have to decide if you want to go risky or not, or you want to play it safe. I think I'd probably just play it safe and go for Pep because it's almost guaranteed points, I feel. But if you want to go for the risk, you want to go for that points potential, then I think Glasner's probably up there. Any transfers done? Just join SH. No transfers done at the moment. Isaac captain. So Igor, I think now's the time that we're going to post the poll. So let's start a poll. Who is your captain at the moment? Now this could change obviously, but I want to know who your captain is, who you think you're going to be going for. I'm going to put the popular option at the top in Mbeumo. Then we'll go with Mamouche. Then we'll go with Isaac. And I think, okay, what I'll do is I'll say Mamouche / City because I think there's some people going for De Bruyne. Who's another option? Salah. I think Salah is probably the last option. So you guys can vote on this poll. I've just put it up. It's who is your captain. Try and be honest. Don't vote for a player that you're not captaining. Bowen is an option as a differential captain. Igor said it in chat, but I don't think there's too many people chasing with that one. So I'm going to go for the 4 popular ones. Let's just say that. Now or next round for the assistant manager, I would use it this week. If you guys are the assistant manager, I would use it this week. We still have games with teams with something to play for. Game week 38, it might just be an absolute circus. Everything might be settled. Relegation's already settled. Top 5 might be settled. And we might just have a bunch of teams on the beach just scoring goals for fun, which I don't know if that's going to be positive for the assistant manager. So I would use it this week and then use it till game week 37. Yeah, that's my kind of advice. 80 points behind first in my mini league. Am I cooked, chat? So you guys can tell Jason if he's cooked. 80 points in 4 weeks is 20 points you need to gain over the next 4 weeks. With no chips, I don't know what your chip situation, Jason, but probably no chips. I think you might be cooked, but I don't know if Chad would agree, but I think you might be cooked. I'm sorry to say, but you might make it. Who knows? You're going to have to go super differential and hope that your captain scores like 6 goals or something. Who to play from Byrne, Konza, and Neko Williams. Okay, so this is a really good segue. Hopefully you guys have taken the advice and looked at what the graphic on screen. Now we're going to go over to the projected clean sheets, which I think is going to be super useful for a question like what you've just said. Okay, so just give me a second here while I adjust the graphic. You guys can see Rob TFPL there, top left. Go check them out. These are up to date as of today. And the Arsenal projections have been going like this. They've been going up, down, but they are down at this point. 1.65 goals projected with a clean sheet chance of 29%. So Everton have gone up now. They're the highest projected clean sheet scorers, 46%. And then Man City are sitting second at 40%. A little bit of a drop off to next, which is Brentford, 34%. And I think Aston Villa have also gone a little bit down to 31%. So projections aren't great this week. I'm not going to lie to you guys. There are a few goals, though. Some good fixtures here. Man City, highest projected goal scorers, 2.35. We also have Brentford on 1.9, which isn't fantastic. But I mean, if Mbeumo scores one of those goals, you're probably smiling because of that extra point per midfielder. Aston Villa also looking pretty good. I know there's some people debating benching someone like a Rodgers. I mean, he does have one of the highest projected goals teams in this fixture. The one that I'm very surprised by is Liverpool, 1.45 and 16%. So the Arsenal odds are down bad, but the Liverpool odds are even worse. So if you're looking at Captain Salah, it's not looking great. Philippe says, Davey, again, same question, same team, 5 transfers. So I also had this question on Discord a lot. If you guys have the same team as me, I would do the Saka to Mbeumo move, but then I'd probably also do Mateta out for Visa, I think. You might want to make a defensive switch. I think what I might actually look at is also Eze or Saad to De Bruyne. That to me also looks pretty spicy. So those are the moves I probably would make. Do you think Foden plays? Foden is very tough to predict because as far as I know, his fitness has been okay. I know he was injured a little bit, but Pep just doesn't seem like he likes him this season. Can you make a wildcard team draft? Okay, so what I'll do is I will post... I made a wildcard team draft earlier. What I'll do is I'll save it and I'll post it in general chat of the Discord. I don't want to go over it now because there's not many people on a wildcard, I think. But if you guys are on the Discord, there's a link in the description to join it. In general chat, I've just posted the wildcard draft I created. I posted it in general chat, which everyone can see. So Jag, if you said I've got bench boost, wildcard, and free at left, what shall I use this week? I would wildcard this week. Bench boost next week potentially, or whatever week looks good. But you can use the wildcard draft I've posted in the Discord chat. So you and Hashem can go and copy that one. Just let me know if you can't afford it. You can downgrade Guardiola to Ruben Diaz if you can't afford it. Will you play Diaz, Guardiola, and Saliba? Or Guardiola, Konza, and Saliba? Diaz, Guardiola, and Saliba, definitely. I would definitely play Diaz if you have him. Mateta to Watkins for free or roll? So let me go back to these Aston Villa fixtures because I just want to get some confirmation here. So Aston Villa have Fulham this week. Then they have Bournemouth. Then they have Spurs. So if they get the double, I would do it next week. I think I might just roll for the time being. I think maybe just roll. I think save that transfer. I don't know if it has that much upside this week. Jacques, hi, what's the plan? The plan is to probably do Saka to Mbumo, and captaincy is up in the air at the moment. I'm still deciding on the captaincy. I don't know if you guys are also. We do have a poll in chat if you guys want to go vote on it. So just getting back to these stats, you can also see that West Ham also projected to be quite high on the goals, and that's because Spurs are probably going to rotate, as will United. So the Brentford and West Ham projections have now gone up. I know both teams won comfortably, so there might not be as much rotation, but I'm pretty sure we will be seeing a lot of rotation between them. So Brentford and West Ham, basically in Mbumo, Visa, and Bowen, you guys can take the punt on them this week because I think there's going to be goals in those fixtures. Who is your captain? Let's go Mbumo. So at the moment, I'm going for Mumush captain. That's why he's on the thumbnail. I know it's the early kickoff, but the early kickoff does not apply to Egyptians. I don't know if you guys know this. It's a little terms and conditions fact that the early kickoff does not apply to Egyptians. I don't know. I didn't invent this. This is just what I've found out through years of research. But Mamush could potentially bang. That's all I'm going to say. Any early team sheet news? How's it, Adam? Hopefully you're doing well. I don't see any at the moment. And I think we're only going to be getting it maybe like 5 minutes before. I think we're only going to be getting it about 5 minutes before the deadline, which is going to be a bit intense. Early kickoff jinx. I mean, I just said it doesn't apply to Egyptians. Risk of Haaland starting, so Haaland won't start. Pep says he thinks it's too soon for him this game, but he might be back for Southampton, so there might be a good goodbye present for Mamush. Wolves or Brentford defense, more trustworthy in your opinion? I'd say Brentford defense, Adam. I think Wolves are going to definitely concede against Man City this week. If you're talking about generally, I still feel like maybe Brentford. I feel like both teams aren't the best, but I might say Brentford slightly. I think Wolves are pretty much just going to be like all-out attack now from now till game week 38. Looking at doing Mateta to Visa to afford Diaz to Mbumo from -4. Is this a safe enough bet? I've got Son Eze to cover Palace picks. Yeah, Leon, I mean, your logic looks pretty good. Best coach. So if you want to go risky, it's going to be Glasner from Crystal Palace. If you want to go safe, which I think I probably would just go for Pep. And if you can't afford Pep, you can go for David Moyes from Everton. So just between those two. Philippe, thank you for becoming a Legend member. As far as I know, it was weird not seeing a star next to your name. I do think this is kind of a re-membership. So I do appreciate that. And thanks for the support. Chris saying, sorry if you've already covered this, but already done Saka to Mbumo. But thinking about doing one of Semenyo, Murphy, or Sarr to Bowen for my second free transfer. Can't afford KDB. Okay, I like these moves. I think actually I wouldn't be afraid of doing Murphy to Bowen, just because I do don't really like the Newcastle fixtures. I think this week looks okay, but I think the others might be slightly better. But Semenyo, I don't know. I have a love-hate relationship with Semenyo because he has not been great to me. So I think Semenyo is probably the no-brainer one, but I do feel like they have some good fixtures coming up from now to the end of the season. So I'd probably say Murphy just purely on a fixture basis, Chris, but I won't lie to you. Out of those options, I don't think you can do too much wrong. I think Bowen should probably outperform most of them. Play Savinho or Rodgers? I would play Savinho unless we get news. I'd play Rodgers unless we get news that Savinho's starting. That's what I would say. Start Ruben or Kiwior. Unsure if your Kanji's fit to start. I would just start Ruben Diaz Terang anyways. Best defender for the rest of the season. Okay, I'm going to just go over and look at projected points here because it's quite a tough question. Man City options are highly regarded. I think Guardiola or Ruben Diaz if you can afford him. Otherwise, if you want cheap options, Everton's looking pretty good. So there's like an O'Brien. You probably want to go for him because he could potentially play fullback or Mikalenko. I mean, those two are pretty cheap, so I'd probably say either of them. Otherwise, you're looking a little bit tough. So I'd say either Man City or Everton, and it just depends on your price point. Luis Diaz starts. I don't know. Liverpool is very tough. It's the second one, Andrew. It's Bry. The second one with 2 A's. Bench 1, Sam, Mateta or Rodgers. I would probably say Saw versus Rodgers. I'd probably split the odds and bench Saw just because Mateta's on penalties. I just feel like either team isn't looking fantastic this week. So I'd probably just split the odds and then just hope that Rodgers does well. Sorry, I was just looking at projected points for a question there. And no early team sheet news. I'm just checking because it's 30 minutes to go. I don't see anything. When are the best weeks to bench boost and triple captain? So Mohammed, literally it's going to come down to whichever week your bench is looking the best. So what I would do is go over to a planning website like FPL.team, plug your ID in, and put your plan moves in from now to the end of the season. And whichever week your bench looks good, you just use it for that. And then with the triple captain, I'd wait and see if there's a double. If there's no double, it's just whichever player you're not bench boosting, whichever game week you're not bench boosting on, and whichever player is a good fixture. It could be next week for someone like a KDB versus Southampton. That could be pretty good, but yeah, I don't know. Thoughts on Mateta to Visa from -4, Marius? I'm considering similar. And the reason for that is I do think down the line, let me just kind of, let me bring up Sofa Score here quick. Actually, what I can probably just do is I can just use the actual planning. Okay, so if you look here, so game week 37 is not going to be a blank. So correct me if I'm wrong. Let me just check Crystal Palace here. When do they play? When do they play their FA Cup? So they played on the 25th, which is going to be, wait a minute, is the 25th, okay, so the 25th is a Sunday. Wait, is that correct? Oh no, 17th. I do apologize. I'm looking at the year, not the, that's what a classic. Okay, so it's a Saturday. Okay, so this Saturday in game week 37 is going to be for the FA Cup final. So Crystal Palace play Man City this week. But then what happens is that Crystal Palace and Man City now play on the Tuesday. So it's a Saturday to Tuesday turnaround. And I kind of feel like there's going to be rotation here for Crystal Palace. There might not be, there might be, I just don't know. That's just my thinking at the current moment that I'm looking at. So the only thing I don't want to, the reason I'm keeping Mateta is because I kind of feel like Spurs, Crystal Palace, Spurs might rotate here once again. And therefore I do favor Crystal Palace in this fixture. So that's why I'm currently leaning towards maybe just keeping Mateta. But Visa has 2 good fixtures back to back. So it's Ipswich next week, which also looks pretty strong. So it's a tough one, but I think I'm currently just leaning towards keeping, but it's very close. The -4 is what makes it a bit like, I don't, like it might be a bit hectic. We could just wait a week and do this next week, but then I guess Visa might score where Mateta doesn't against Forest. Basis is the manager, risky, it's going to be Glasner, safe, it's Pep. If you can't afford Pep, it's David Moyes. The wife also Savinho, so she wants to know bench one of Savinho, Saw, Rodgers or Mateta. I'd probably bench Savinho at this moment, unless we get news that he starts. That to me makes the most sense. Mikhail, okay, let me just check here quickly. Just because it's you, I'll check. Okay, so Saka to Mbumo's the first transfer. And I think I might play Martinez over Raya. And then I think I would I think I would do Mateta to Visa for the -4 as well. If it's for free. But it's close. Keep Palmer. Yeah, I think you keep Palmer against Liverpool. I mean, the projections are looking very good for Chelsea at the moment. You can see here. Chelsea. Could you guys even see the fixtures when I talked about them? Okay, yeah, you could. Yeah, so the projections are looking pretty good for Chelsea, so I'd probably just keep Palmer. I'm going to go back to my team now, though. I think there's been enough time on the projected. On the projected clean sheets. So we'll go back to the actual team, and we do have just under, or we do have 24 minutes to go. Are we dressing up again for game week 38? I don't know. I don't know if we do it for game week 38. I think we might do it for game week 1, because that's like the big one. Maybe if we got top 10k, then we would dress up. But I kind of feel like, I mean, top 50k is okay, but I don't know if it's enough to whip out the suit again. Start Munoz or Konza. I'd probably go Munoz and just hope Chris Wood blanks. I probably am the #1 Chris Wood hater, so I do hope he blanks. Saka and Rashford to Mbuma and KDB from -4. I mean, Callum, that looks pretty good. I would say do it because Rashford's out probably for the rest of the season. So it's almost an excuse to do it. It's like, okay, you're forcing my hand here. Murphy to Bowen, I like that move as well. I'm not against taking out Newcastle assets. I think Isaac could still do well this week, but the fixtures afterwards aren't too fantastic. I just want to check here. Okay, so I'm actually tempted by KDB now. I won't lie. I'm tempted by potentially looking at the KDB move, but I just don't know if it's worth it. It's a bit risky. Because I think he's almost a transfer waiting to happen. Let's just put it that way. He's almost a transfer waiting to happen. Because it's the same with that Bournemouth fixture. I don't think he starts the Bournemouth game. Yeah, I don't know. I'm potentially looking at that transfer. Okay, so in terms of the captaincy poll, pretty interesting. About 50% of you guys are saying that you are going to be captaining Mbeumo. So that's pretty much the template I've seen over on Twitter. Mamush/City is on 29%, and Isaac is 11%, Salah's 12%. Bournemouth game is his last home game. Davey, he'll play, says Cammy. That is true. So are we looking at potentially bringing in Kevin De Bruyne for the 3 games? I hope he starts Southampton. If he doesn't, that'll be pretty bleak. And then Munoz will concede but score. I mean, that's probably likely, but I think there's a good chance of a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest. Not another question, just a thank you and appreciation for the effort you put in answering. No worries, Chris Faz. Do appreciate that. Thank you for the kind words. Always do love your guys' questions, so the more questions, the better. I have a similar team with 2 free transfers. I need to win my mini league, and there's 4 points in it. What transfers would you suggest? I think Kevin De Bruyne is a solid differential, but you have to understand, Will, that he might be benched, and that is not going to look too fantastic. If he is benched, it's not going to look too great. So do you think Saka starts? I don't. I think Saka's probably one of the more likely players that won't start. Paulie's saying start Ray and Konza or Martinez and Saliba. Martinez and Saliba, because there might be a potential goal from a corner, and Martinez has a cheeky penalty save in him. So I would probably say that option. 2.7 short on your wild card. What to do? Okay, let me see what to do here. That is quite a lot, I will not lie. I think what you do, I mean, it might be tough, but you might have to drop someone like an Isaac. I think dropping Isaac's the easiest. Although, I mean, or maybe, but Kevin, I like Kevin De Bruyne. Because if you choose, so that takes you to 8.7, takes you 6.7. Okay, what you do is take Isaac to Visa. Can you afford that? Then that looks good. Do Isaac to Visa. I just want Watkins in there in case they have a double. Saka to Mbumo, yeah, that does look pretty now. I think out of the moves, I think we can probably lock in Saka to Mbumo. I think we can lock that move in. It just depends on what other move we do. So I think we can probably do that one if you guys are comfortable. Okay, so I think we can do that. So let's take out Saka for Mbumo. And I think that transfer is probably locked in. I guess I could go for KDB instead, but I think I would still want Mbumo next week anyways. Okay, so let's make this transfer. Saka out from Mbumo. I think my current thinking is if I go for Kevin De Bruyne, I captain Mamush, but if I don't, I captain Mbumo. Or do I captain Mamush to cover Kevin De Bruyne? Okay, so the transfer for Mbumo is done, and I think that'll solve a bit of confusion there with people seeing Saka as my captain. Are we taking a hit? Tarang, we might. I'm looking at a hit, but I don't know. 4 weeks left of games isn't the time to be taking hits. Please assist the manager which game. So use it this week, and you use it if you want to be punty, you use it on Glasner. If you want to be safe, which I think I would probably do, it's Pep. If you can't afford Pep, you go David Moyes. Murphy or Mateta? Already have Munoz and Saar. I would just go for Mateta. If you have Saar and Eze like myself, or any other players, I think you just put all your eggs in one basket and you just hope that Crystal Palace do really well. Start Burn or Konate? I'd probably start Burn. No Victoria's Secret. Unfortunately, I mean, I could, but what I would hope then is that my vice captain comes in. Philippe said, new card, new phone. So with 5 free transfers, I do the same as you and say the rest of it. No. So Philippe, what I would do if I was you now is I think with 5 free transfers, I would do Visa in for Mateta. And then I would be tempted to also do Saar or Eze to Kevin De Bruyne or Bowen. Now, defensively, I guess you could also do a move. So maybe what you do is this. You go for Bowen instead of Eze or Saar, and then you take Kiwior, if you can afford it, to Ruben Diaz instead. And that's probably what I would look at. So I would use like 3 free transfers this week. I know it might be like not optimal, but I think now's the time to use them. Start Kiwior or Saliba? I would say Saliba. I just feel like maybe he gets more attacking threat. Mateta to Visa from -4, is it crazy? It's not crazy. I'm also contemplating it. So I just don't know. Beer and Friday night deadline. I mean, just make sure it's in the correct order, Devin. Otherwise, you might be making some spicy transfers there, brother. Who's on the bench on your wildcard template? I think the bench pretty much picks itself. It would be a 3-4-3. It would be Van der Berg bench, and it would be Neco Williams bench, and then I'd bench Rodgers. So that's what the bench should be. Are we locked in for the Mbumo captaincy? I'm not completely locked in, but I'm liking. I mean, it is what it is. I think I was on Mamush captain before. I guess it's the early kickoff, but I mean, maybe we go with Mamush. Okay, so we have had a potential leak, I guess. Apparently Haaland doesn't start and Mamush does. But is Haaland on the bench? Okay, but that obviously, as Lazy FPL is saying, use leaks at your own discretion. I will say though that I would have expected Mamush to start, so I think that one does look okay. Why not Murphy instead of Saar? Christian, I'm basically putting all my eggs in one basket. I was hoping that Crystal Palace do well, and I just can't decide between who to bench between Eze and Saar. But if you want to do it, I can understand it. It makes sense. I still have Edison keeper. I think you just hope that Edison starts this one. I don't think it's worth doing a keeper transfer. If you don't have a good backup, then maybe, but I think you probably should have a sufficient backup. It's not like this week there's guaranteed clean sheets, unless you want to look at a Pickford. Vardy captain for me. Reckon he could bang. So Leicester do have a pretty good game against Southampton. So that's the reason why this week doesn't look great. David said David with the herd mentality. I mean, that does hurt, but I was on Mbeumo captain before I saw everyone else was doing it. But it was closer to him and Mumush. The only thing I want to know is that is Haaland on the bench though? Because if Haaland's on the bench, then that kind of means that there potentially could be a sub appearance. If he's on the bench, then that does put me off a little bit from Mamush, but I don't know if he is in the squad. If you have extra free transfer, what would you do? I think I'd do Mateta out for Visa. If KDB, then who? Have three City guys, then probably Bowen to run. I think. Have you already transferred in Boomer? Yes, I have. I've already transferred him in. We do have 13 minutes to go here. So I guess my thinking with Palace is like, I think they want to keep up some good form heading into that FA Cup final. And that's why I think it's okay to keep them for now. It's just I think next week it's going to be quite tough to kind of assess what we do. Because I think Mateta's probably the most guaranteed player out. I just want to check out how our team looks for next week. Let me just see if you guys can see this. Okay, you guys can kind of see the team. Okay, so let's just do the move that we've just done, which is Mbeumo in. So next week, how's the team looking? Okay, so we can start for Bruggen. We can, so the defense is not looking fantastic. So we might just play Dan Burn. We have Spurs, which isn't too bad. Okay, so the team doesn't look terrible. It's all depends on this kind of Eze fixture. That game week 36 fixture for Palace though is on the 11th, so it will be a full week before they do kick off. So I think I'm okay. I'm okay with keeping my Crystal Palace options for the time being. I just hope they do something against Forest, but they might not. So now it comes down to captaincy. Is it the correct choice to go for Mbeumo? I think at the moment it's fine. I think there's just a slightly, I think there's a higher ceiling on Mbeumo than there is on Mamush. But it is close. I think if you guys do have Kevin De Bruyne, I think I might just probably go for Mamush, because then you're hoping that Man City do well anyways. Same team, but is it better to bench Mateta instead of Murphy? I just think Mateta, if he starts, he's on penalties, that sort of thing, more avenues for points. Bring in KDB, maybe, says Craig. I mean, I'm tempted, but I don't know. That does change the whole team, though. If I bring in KDB, I captain Mamush. And is it worth doing that this week? I think I probably hold off just because De Bruyne might be rotated. But I mean, he's been playing well. For transfers, same, Andy. Okay, so if you do you want my advice with the four? I think I would probably do Mateta to Visa for free. Mikhail saying, have the funds to do Sato and Mbumo and Mateta to Visa. Is that better than having 5 more after doing Saka to Mbumo and Mateta? No, I would take Saka out, Mikhail. Should be a good choice as I feel United will rest. Yeah, they will definitely rest players. Just can't decide over who to start, Saar or Murphy. Okay, so in terms of projections, I think Newcastle are a lot higher than Palace are. So maybe what I would say is that if you have Isaac captain, or if you only have one attacker starting, then I would probably say Murphy. But because I have Eze, Saar, and Mateta, I'm just hoping that they all do well. How risky is it starting Bowen? It's not risky at all. So people are captaining Bowen. It's a great choice. Mumush captain, KDB as vice, or Isaac? I think I would go Isaac Kirk, just in case, I don't know, some mass thing happens before. The City game and the game's called off. So I do apologize. I'm just going to post the team on Discord quick. Just because we do have 9 minutes left, so please, guys, get those teams locked in. Locked in, like hopefully Liam Ferguson will be after the super chat. Let me just quickly post the team here. Game week 35. So Liam is asking, start Neco Williams or Cunha? Rest of my team picks itself. So I would say start Cunha, Liam. I think I would always play the attack over the defender. I know that in this situation as Man City, you probably have Guardiola. It might not be that great. But I think that I would still play the attacker. He looks in great form. He's on penalties, that sort of thing. Let's see if we have had some more team news. Okay, cool. I can post this one. Sorry, the upload was just taking a bit long on YouTube, but it has gone up now. Okay, this is just taking forever to upload to Discord, so I'm just going to say Mbumo in for Saka and captain. I don't know why it's taking so long. I will just leave it there for it to upload. Yeah, Murphy bench seemed risky with his form, might bench Saar. I completely get that, and I do feel like it might be worth maybe spreading the risk slightly. I just kind of feel like with me starting Mateta and Eze, I'm just hoping that they do something. But I do understand that it might be quite risky with the form. I guess there is always that threat of Gordon in and around there. I think he's Eddie Howe said that he's not fully fit, but I feel like he still will be on the bench. Start Cunha or Murphy. That's tough. I think I still would go... oh, sorry. Let me just go and check. Thank you for that one. I had the wrong screenshot. Let me just delete this one. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. I do appreciate you guys. Let me change my my post as well. Delete that one. Okay, post new one. Game week 35. Cool. Sorry, guys. I do apologize for that one. Maybe we should have gone for Saka captain. Okay, cool. So there's the team. Let me go check early team sheet news. Otherwise, get those questions in. We'll do a quick fire round for the last 5 minutes. Okay, I don't see any early team sheet news, guys. We've got 4 minutes left. I'm just going to run through quick fire rounds. Maybe I'll check it with like 2 minutes to go. But at the moment, if you're just joining the stream and Bumo is in for Saka captain, let me just go back to what I see. Start Burn over Kiwior. I just feel like Brighton will score. If Kiwior's benched, it's okay. Crystal Palace haven't been strong enough to triple up on. I get that. I just feel like there is a chance. I mean, they did pretty well in the FA Cup semi-final. Bench Mateta or Murphy? Well, I'm benching Murphy, so that's probably what I would suggest. I want to go Bowen for Saar for -4, but first in my mini league, what should I do? Igor, it's fine. If you think that Bowen scores more points than Saar over the next few weeks, then that's 100% fine. One free transfer, Mateta to Visa or Roll. I've got Mbeumo and Bowen already. I think I would be tempted by that, Will. I think for free I would do it. Start Asensio or Eze? I think you start... Is Asensio even going to play? I would just start Eze for certainty, Harsh. Start 3, Trippier, Munoz, Saliba, Kiwior, Guardiola. Guardiola, Trippier, Munoz. I'd start those 3. Start Wan-Bissaka or Konate? I'd start Wan-Bissaka. Mateta to Visa for free. I think I would do it for free, John. Saka, Mateta, Savinho to Watkins and Mbeumo, Bowen for -4, or get Watkins in next week. Yeah, those moves look good. I would say do it. Martinez or Raya? I'd start Martinez. Rodgers or Saar? I'd go Rodgers. Ruben or Saliba? Ruben. If you guys have Man City defenders, start them. Start Burn or Milenkovic. So if you have Eze, if you have Mateta, if you have Saar in your lineup, Salem, I would go for Burn because you probably don't have Brighton attackers. I would play the odds there and don't go against the defense you're starting. Start Luis Diaz or Wobie or Nori. I'd just go for Ruben. I'd go for Luis Diaz and hope he plays. Play 2 of Eze or Saar or Rodgers. I'd go for Eze and I would go for Rodgers. Split the odds, Hashem. Captain Visa or Mbeumo. I'd go for Mbeumo because he's on penalties, Andy. Would you start Murphy or Saar? I mean, I'm starting Saar. Well, so Raya or Verbruggen. I'd go for Raya. I don't have much trust in Verbruggen Coke with this fixture. Let me check quickly any early team sheet news. 11 posts, potentially something. I don't see anything. Okay, cool. All I'm seeing though is I'm seeing a lot of Mamush captains. So I don't think Mbeumo's going to be as captain as we maybe were expecting. Is Saka to KDB a good move? I like it as a punt. I think it's got the legs to do quite well. KDB starts with 1 minute to go. Okay, yes, Kevin De Bruyne does start. Savinho's bench. So if you have Savinho, bench him. Bench Savinho. So if you guys want to go for Kevin De Bruyne, then he does start. That could also be a differential captain if you guys do want to go there. I personally am not, but I think it does look pretty good. And as I've said, if you guys have De Bruyne and Mamush, I would captain one of them because I think then you're really hoping that Man City do well. It's a good fixture. Start Trent or Bruno. I think Bruno probably gets benched, so Trent. I'd start Bruno though and then maybe have Trent on the bench because maybe both of them don't start. Another deadline location on the train to London. Have a good weekend. Cammy, enjoy your weekend, brother. Hopefully it's a good one. Sorry about the Friday deadline, but unfortunately, that is going to be TUPD time, guys. Time is up. Pens are down. If you know, you know. So let's see what Game Week 35 has in store for us. I'm on a Boomer captain. It seems like a lot of people are actually on Mamush captain now. So let's see how that does fly. But I'm just hoping for a green arrow this week. Let's hope that we can stay within the top 50k. I think top 10k is probably a little bit out of reach. But I'm going to let you guys get back to your Friday evenings, afternoons, Saturday mornings, wherever you guys are around the world. Thank you for tuning in. I'll be seeing you guys for that Game Week 36, potentially double Game Week 36 content. Who knows? But hopefully the green arrow is in our favor. And for the time being, I'm signing off to Navy FPL and I'm out. Cheers.